Hey guys, welcome to SnapShot. We're going to go through a campaign we did for Macquarie Technology. This was it was called The Founders Story, but it's basically like a brand film. Even though they're such a large company, ASX listed, this was more like a personal brand story about the founders. Thomas and I worked on this one. You weren't on it, you were involved, but...
I was involved, but I still do have questions.
Yeah, no,
I wasn't there.
That's what this is all about. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, this bus.
Yeah.
Obviously, it looks like a bit of a familiar shot.
Mm-hmm. So that's on purpose, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So shout out to Joe from Macquarie Technology. He does like marketing and has been involved with the founders for many years. Anyway, so he helped us with the concept, and something he wanted to bring in was this idea of like a very, very like Australian story. So basically this is from a nod to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and it's very iconic. So they wanted to actually do a nod to that. So this was literally a big like sheet, like a kind of curtain. And I think it was either Joe or Elisa was literally like fed it through and was just like holding it there.
On
like,
for dear life.
Okay, let's go. I am like up here somewhere. And so they start obviously up the road. And so we had to like coordinate. I'm like, okay, ready? All right, let's go. And I had to like slowly start pushing the drone in. There were so many shots where this fabric is just like on the side of the edge. So I think it took us, 3 tries or something. But yeah, it was a way to make it non-corporate, and they wanted to like bring it back to, I guess, the roots. And Australian, and not be too serious by doing something like this. So that was a fun one. I actually have watched this so many times, I totally forgot about that before you mentioned it. So that's cool. So we hired, this is like a vintage, but I think that's the right word, vintage bus, that I'm trying to think what they actually rented out for. I don't think it's not normally rented out for like long trips. I think it is actually rented out for stuff like this, shoots. But yeah, we rented out for 3 days actually. So the actual founders, who are obviously very busy guys, these two, they weren't there on all 3 of the days. So one of the days was actually purely just bus shots, because we knew we wanted to use it as a motif. So here, they're not in it. They're not in it here. I think it's literally the bus driver. Elisa, maybe Joe is in there just going for a ride.
The bus driver there.
Yeah, shout out to the bus driver. We became pals. But yeah, so it just meant that we had a full day where we could just get all of this sort of stuff. For this one, Thomas and I had to like walk into the middle of this paddock. It was like long grass. We're just hoping there was no snakes. Just had to like, signal like, yeah, we're good to go. So yeah, a bit of fun. You can see like super Australian, beautiful landscape. If you look really closely, you can probably kind of tell that no one is actually on the bus, but like there's no one there, but
no,
obviously,
he's there.
Yeah, there he is. He's on the bus.
And so this shot here, was the bus actually moving when you were doing, sleeping lady?
It's a sleeping lady.
Right?
No, so if you notice here, the curtains are all closed. This is actually at the end of the shoot day. We shot this in the car park of the Macquarie data centers. So we parked it up and we put some lights to sort of emulate obviously a bit of sunlight coming in, but also it's like a sleepy sort of scene that like it could be just like it's moving. There was talk about rocking the bus, but being like a vintage old bus, we thought that was a little bit crazy. We instead just went handheld to give it a bit of movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, these extras were actually just friends of the crew. So I think that might be like Elisa's mum, friend or something. We just, brought anyone we know, just like, hey, do you want to come on a bus to Goulburn? They all came to Goulburn though.
And why did you have them in the background?
Oh yeah, no, that is a fair question. It was because, again, trying to make this authentic, the overarching, like, I guess, narrative arc of this brand story was these guys, if you see any of their like press releases and stuff, super serious, corporate, professional, know their stuff. But here we're trying to like bring them like back to the roots, like down to sort of earth, like visually. So the fact that which they did, literally used to back in the day, they couldn't afford flights, so they would get on the overnight bus to Melbourne to try and expand their business. So here we thought, like, we sort of have a mock scene as if they are getting on the public bus, and here are extras making it seem authentic.
So that has been Snapshot. Us taking a look at the Macquarie Technology founders story. So yeah, can't wait to see you on the next one.
See ya. Nice. There's actually more interesting things in that than I thought.